So what's better than homemade meatballs? Well, serving it with homemade pasta. And that's exactly what I did. And trust me, it was magnifico. Hey everybody, welcome to Cooking with Sylv Mac, and today we are going to make some homemade fresh pasta. I've already got my meatballs and my sauce simmering on the stove. I've already cooked those. For that recipe, you can check back a little later. But today, let's get started with the pasta. But first, you know we can't get started unless we have our wine, because this is tribute to my mother, Sylv Mac 1. She always had a glass of Chardonnay or some type of white wine while she was cooking. All right, so let's go over our ingredients right now. So, in Italy, normally when they make pasta, my girlfriend Tiziana told me that they use double O flour. That's kind of hard to find, but you can find it on Amazon. It is a little pricey too. I didn't get that. The next best thing to that is the semolina flour, and it is a very fine flour. So we're going to use a cup of the semolina flour, all-purpose flour, just a pinch of salt, and also, of course, I have to promote our family, their olive oil from Crete, Greece. You can order it by emailing the company, and I will provide that email address in the description, but it is called Mathiana. I can never pronounce it, my Greek is bad. Okay, so we got our ingredients together, so now let's start the process. You don't even need a bowl for this. This is actually my mother's sifter, and so I'm really proud to be using it. So we're going to now put the flours together, the all-purpose flour, a cup of that, a cup of the semolina, just a pinch of salt, and let's sift them together. And again, like I said, you don't even need a bowl because we're just going to put it straight on the countertop. Sift it together like so. And now let's put a well in the middle because we're gonna pour the egg in. And you wanna do it so that it's about maybe 4 inches or so of a hole that you're gonna put in here. And this is like the really authentic way of how to make pasta. And I love it. You want to make sure that it's nice and big because you're about to pour 3 eggs in there, and you're going to slowly incorporate it until you need to start kneading the dough. Okay, so now we've got 3 eggs. You can add them without beating them, or you can just slowly whisk them together. I just kind of, whisk them together gently, I should say. And we want to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. That's about a tablespoon. So now let's take our fork, and you're going to slowly incorporate the flours into the eggs. And you're going to keep doing this and hope that it doesn't spill over, because then you will have a mess. And you keep doing this and sort of getting it together. The good thing though, when it comes to making pasta, is that you really cannot over mix it. Unlike biscuit batter, if you handle it too much, it gets really kind of tough. So you're gonna keep incorporating the flour into the egg mixture. And basically you're gonna keep doing that until you really can't do it anymore because it gets maybe too stiff, you know what I mean? So you can see the reason why you wanted that big well, because what you don't want is for the eggs to then run all over the place. And I've had that happen to me before. So, and you're gonna, keep mixing it until you get a big blob like this. And you'll be able to tell when it's time to start using your hands. Like maybe about now. You want to keep mixing it as so. And if you find that your dough is too dry, then actually you just want to add a tiny bit of water. But if you keep working it, you'll see that it'll probably all come together. Now, we're gonna keep mixing and kneading this for like 8 to 10 minutes. So the pasta has rested. So now let's just cut it into fourths. All right, so you want to make it into a little disc and put a little bit of flour on there. And you want to make it, and you can see it's nice and supple and elasticy, if that's a word. So now we're gonna start it on 7 on my pasta machine, which is the widest. And we're gonna go in and feed it in. See, it comes out nice. And you wanna run it through a couple of times. So like I said, 7 is the thickest right now. And I really don't want super thick pasta. So I'm gonna drop it down again to like a 3 and see what happens. Okay, so you can see now it's nice and thin. So I'm gonna lay it down. I am gonna cut it in half so that it's easier to handle. And now what I want is I wanna make spaghetti or fettuccine. So now you put it on the back part of, and this is of course after I've run it through several times. So it'll be coming out of the back side. And there you have it. Beautiful fettuccine. I'm just gonna hang it right now on my little pasta hanger, just until I'm ready, you know, to put it into the water. And you can see the pasta hanger here. Move this over. So I put it on the pasta hanger just while I crank out the rest of the pasta here. So, whoo chow. Okay. Kneading for 10 minutes, I was sweating like a dog, so. So now we're about to put the pasta in here. You want to make sure that you salt your water. You did put salt in the pasta, but you always want to salt your water. And I would say you do it with about maybe 4 teaspoons. We've got my pasta here. The water is rapidly boiling. So now let's just go on and add the pasta from my hanger, from my pasta hanger. And you don't really want to cook it too long, because unlike, I'm gonna put it all in there. Unlike the pasta that's already hard that you get like in the box where you have to really cook it for a long time, this one you don't really have to cook too long. I would basically say just a couple of minutes, because you don't want it to be mushy at all. There's nothing worse than mushy pasta. So you can see, oh, it looks wonderful. And you're basically kind of just like heating it up for a little bit. Bring it back to a boil, and then you should be done. Okay, so while the pasta is cooking, and it only has a couple more, probably like another minute or two left to cook, I want to show you also this wonderful, wonderful pot of sauce and spaghetti, sauce and meatballs. Oh, can you see that? Yes. So I make my meatballs with a combination of spicy Italian sausage and veal. And I got that tip, the veal, from one of my favorite restaurants called Bella Gusto here in Chandler. They make some of the best spaghetti and meatballs, but I gotta tell you, I think mine are better now. Okay, so now I have drained the water off of the pasta, and now I'm ready to make my plate. A lot of people will say to go on and put like some butter or some olive oil in there. No, because if you do that, then the pasta doesn't stick to the sauce. It'll slide off. So now let's go on and fix that plate. We got our fresh pasta here. Woo! This looks fantastic. I can hardly wait to dig in. Let's get a few meatballs in here. And again, my meatballs that I have, I make those with a combination of hot Italian sausage and veal. I like to put mushrooms in my spaghetti and meatballs. I know that that is not traditional, but then again, I'm not a traditional cook. I just cook as far as what tastes good to me. So let's look. So now we've got a little shaved Parmesan. Let's sprinkle that on. And there you have it. Fresh homemade pasta with homemade meatballs and homemade sauce. For this recipe and all other recipes, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. Thanks, and have a good day. Cheers.